We're gonna write a post that's gonna get us clients. What I want to show you today is how I write a post that gets clients on LinkedIn, but the same applies on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever you want to be. Or wherever you are. You can also be turned into video in short form, long form. The principles are the same because most people want to feel relevant, but some people might be writing content that is resonant, but if they can't see how it's relevant to them, they won't buy. So a lot of people get emotional. I'll give you an example with basketball. So you might say, I hate the Lakers. And everybody throws rocks at you or is on your team and supports you, that resonates. But if I say, here's how I shoot threes like Steph Curry, and let me show you how. Now, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, okay, that's quite relevant if I'm learning to shoot threes in basketball. So the same applies with coaching, consulting, service provision and all of that. I call these types of posts show posts because we're not inventing anything new per se. We're just going back in time and collecting an incident from our lived experience that has already happened. So in doing that, we show what you do through documenting, not just what we know. And it's much easier to collect content from our calendars than it is to create by, looking at other things and trying different frameworks. In fact, it actually used to confuse me personally every time I used to try and imitate a framework. So how do we do that? Number one, we find a moment worth collecting. So we can look at our calendar, and that is our content bank. If we look at our calendar, look for a client call, a process you went through. If you don't have anything in there, a question you were asked on social media, on your email, on your WhatsApp, a result that happened. It doesn't need to be recent, but if it happened, it is therefore valid. So I really like going back to my calendar every Friday, afternoon and going, okay, what did I do this week? What did I teach? What lesson or what mistake came out of that thing? So number two is summarizing what happened in bullet points. So we just write out what happened in order of events, nothing too fancy. So for example, here, let's say I helped my client Alexis write a conversion post. So I looked in my calendar, it was Wednesday, 9 a.m., where I said Alexis one-on-one, and I remembered I helped her write a conversion post. So the summary of that in bullet points would be, I helped her write a conversion post by finding a case study that she already did with an existing client. We broke it down into steps. We added a call to action, and then we backed it with a WhatsApp screenshot. So that is the summary of the lived experience, right, that we're doing in our show post. Now, the easy part is number three here. We can take each of these bullet points and give it 2-3 lines of insight. What did you do? Why? What changed? Did you have some sort of thought process in there maybe? This post or this document is exactly that, right? So if we see there's a bullet point, there's another bullet point, there's another bullet point, and I'm expanding with 2 or 3 sentences under each bullet point, giving a little bit more context. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of input of how you would write your own show post. So number 4, we can add a short roundup, or I like to call these bottom bangers, because bottom bangers should be as memorable as your hook. When somebody gets to the bottom, that is, something memorable. It could be a summary, it could be a punchline. So for example, with this one, we can say, don't create content, collect proof, or don't create content, collect content. So if you did it, you can document it. Experts teach, pros show receipts. So that is a little bit more memorable, right? Rather than just finishing it off with the 4 things and not having a bottom banger. Then we want to drop a soft CTA. So we've just walked them through a relevant process. We can invite them if we want to, optionally, to go deeper. So in this case, I'm showing you how to write a show post. I could say, do you want a free conversion post template? Grab it here. I'll literally put in a real one. So kit.com/print. That is actually a conversion template I did a while ago. And then I can say, for example, TLDR. If you helped someone do it, you can document it. And when you document it, your content stops sounding like theory and starts sounding like help. So the TLDR could literally be a summary if you want it to be, or you can omit that part entirely. Also, when you're dropping the CTA, you can say, comment something below, go watch this YouTube video, get on my newsletter. It doesn't really matter where you want to send them, but it should be relevant to the post that you've written. And then I always like ending them with little PSs as well. So you can have, like, you know, in this case, if you want a daily insight on how to get clients without sales calls, join 5,400 creators here, and then send them to the link. You see what I did there? It's like really relevant to this if it was going to be a LinkedIn post, right? So I'll also drop this in the description below, and you can have it, you can use it. It's no problem. Now, what I want to do is show 2 examples of my own show posts on my primary platform, which is LinkedIn. So this is one that I wrote this morning. I won't go into the details, but what I want you to notice is we've got how my client, or I could have said how I helped my client, make 217K in 12 months without sales calls, content overwhelm, outbound DMs, or whatever. And then I'm going number 1. So here's my list, right? The summary of what happened, number 2, 3, and then 4. Number 5, number 6. So because in this case, it was a year's worth of work. The collection of content is a little bit longer, right? Because it wasn't just yesterday for an hour. It was the entire year. And then each point here has a little bit more describing what we did. I'll also drop it in the document so you guys can have a read. But essentially I do that. I have the 6 points here. I have my little bottom banger, right? Just one system built for quiet, consistent scale. If you want something similar, I give daily free insights. You know, there it is again, what we read earlier. Click visit my website. So then they would click over here and it would take them to my website to opt into my email list over here. So and you can see I added a screenshot from my client ML here, which looks real. It is him, you know, it shows the time. He's based in Asia, so it came at 4 a.m. my time. But it looks so much more truly this way once you've written a show post and actually done a screenshot. It doesn't always have to be one. You can put like a lifestyle picture, you can put a little quote, depends on your preference, really. My second show post is exactly the same. I sort of default to these because it's so easy to collect content from your calendar. So in this case, this is a how I. So how I turn a $47 product into a 3K client. And then what did I do again? Step 1. Step 2. You can see step 3. And each step has 3 or 4 sentences describing what it is, right? And then we have our little bottom banger. 1 post, 1 email, 1 doc. No burnout, no hustle, no sales calls. So this could be it, or this could be it. And then I'm saying follow me, tagging myself, and click visit my website if you want the Google Doc template. I've added a screenshot of the 3K client here. And in this case, you can see it's vastly different. I took a small portion of the screenshot and then have my doc coconut after our morning run and a little quote here. But hopefully you've, taken a little bit in on how to write a show post that gets clients. The reason it gets clients is because it is insight from your lived experience. So people see that you have that solution to the problem they have. And also because of the process or the documentation and you showing them how to do it, you are leading by demonstration. They can already see and visualize themselves doing the thing. So I want to leave you with that today. I'll put it in the description. You can hit subscribe or comment down below if you have any questions. And I'll see you in the next video.